The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Let's go inside the Jets' new culture under Aaron Glenn. We're previewing Jets training camp, which is under a week away. Antoine Staley from the New York Daily News will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Thursday. Tonight, I'm hosting nationally from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio. If you're in the New York area, you can hear it locally on 10:50 a.m. If you're not, just download the ESPN app and hit the radio tab or listen on SiriusXM channel 80. Ladies and gentlemen, Jets training camp gets underway early next week. The rookies are reporting, then the vets. It's finally here, year one of the Aaron Glenn era will get underway. And joining us right now is a man who will be documenting it every step of the way. His fourth season now on the Jets beat for the New York Daily News. Antoine Staley joins us now. Antoine, happy almost training camp to you, my friend. Hope you're having a great summer.
It's almost coming to an end. So, but it's been good. So it's good to almost have football back.
So when you look at this Jets team, and obviously we'll get into some of the moves they made this week because I think a lot of people were hoping both a Sauce and Garrett contract would get done. I think there were some Jet fans questioning whether or not it would actually truly get done before training camp. But when you look at the state of this team right now, does it kind of feel like the Jets are stabilized? They're in a good spot going into this camp?
I mean, I think so. I mean, I think they're a team that, I mean, doesn't necessarily, at least like from the outside noise, have a lot of expectations, but one that, you got your cornerstone players and Garrett and Sauce locked up until 2030. And, now it's just about going out there and trying to execute there. Obviously, Aaron Glenn is, it's been a lot of talk about the culture change and things of that nature too. But, I think we're going to kind of see what that looks like starting the training camp. And, what I'm expecting is probably more of a physical team there that's, more well coached there and also doesn't make a lot of mistakes as well. As you know, the Jets have, been, penalties have been a big thing, talking point the last couple of years there, the lack of adjustments or just, or things that they're doing that they are adjusting to that necessarily work. And I think now that you have a guy in there that I think Aaron Glenn wants to kind of put his own stamp on there, especially not necessarily turning the Detroit east, but I think a lot of people are kind of viewing it as that way. But I'm curious to see just what the camp looks like, from offensive and a defensive perspective.
We've heard Glenn allude to the fact they're going to be physical. They're going to be tackling a lot more in camp. Now, there's rules that prevent you from how it was back in the day with two-a-days and live contact and all that. But I definitely do get the sense it's going to be a lot different than what we're used to seeing the last couple of years this summer with Glenn.
I think you're already kind of seeing that too, or at least like we're seeing that. Well, we saw that in OTAs and minicamp too, just the way that they communicated with the players. I think it was just much different than the Sala and Jeff Ulbrich era. Well, I obviously is a different team there. I think that team was more like veteran, heavy as opposed to this one where it's a lot of youth there. There's a lot more teaching there. I think you're. I kind of look at it kind of like I covered college football in the past. That's kind of how it is, where got a lot of coaches are communicating. There's a lot of excitement, buzz among the players and also the coaches too. They're running, they're talking to players, they're chatting it up, they're having a good time there, and also it's business to take care of too, especially with a Jets team that finished 5-12, and I think a lot of people it's left with a lot of sour taste in a lot of players' mouth that were on the team a year ago, but I think you're already seeing a different vibe there, just with the practices there, and I expect that to continue going into training camp.
We'll get back to some of the training camp storylines, but let's talk about Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. What was your initial reaction to both deals?
I mean, I was surprised that it happened when it did, but I don't think it was necessarily that big a surprise. I think we've been teasing that they've been, up for contract extension. It was going to get done there. Darren Muji seems like a guy that's very proactive and wanted to get this done, without any distractions going into camp too, because obviously that would have been something a talking point among the media members. Like, hey, when Saul's contract or Garrett's contract, especially when we talked to Muji there, and I think you look at Joe Douglas in his era, like it seemed like it was kind of pulling teeth at, times trying to get extensions there. Although they did get them done with Quentin and obviously Michael Carter last year, it wasn't as proactive. Where I think this year, where you got a guy in Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, they have young talent, they have youth, and they want to keep that as much of that as possible. And the way to do that is to reward the talent that you already have. And I think players see that, and now they maybe decide they want to be a part of this long term. And now that you got this taken care of, yeah, I guess other things pertinent you might decide to want to do. Maybe John Simpson. I think he had a really good year last year. It's been a lot of talk about AVT. We'll see if they decide to do that. They might want to wait, considering his injury history too as well. But now it gives you the freedom to do some other things there, and also, make some other moves heading into the regular season.
We're talking with Antoine Staley, covers the Jets for the New York Daily News. In honor of Sauce Gardner signing a long-term deal with the Jets, how about a daily raffle opportunity? A framed 11 by 14 signed and authenticated Sauce Gardner photo. I give that to one lucky Asmaniac at the end of the show. If you want to enter, gift a channel membership to be a part of it, or send in a $10 super chat, and we'll do something fun this morning for those watching live. First person to gift 10 or more memberships, double it. So you got a chance to get 20 raffle tickets for the price of just 10. Gift away as we step up our giveaways with training camp finally almost here. Antwan, as far as the money specifically for Sauce, I don't think people were surprised that he narrowly beat Derek Stingley. I've been joking around on the show. Give him a penny more, and basically, 30.1 in NFL terms is essentially that. But as far as the money for Garrett, what was your take on where he kind of now checks in with his AAV? And of course, he doesn't kick in until his rookie contract is up in 2 years.
I'm not really surprised. I mean, I think Garrett has a talent to be a top 10, top five receiver. And then that's what you're rewarding him as. You're paying players what you expect them to do. You're not paying for past production. So I think the Jets understand what Garrett Wilson is, and they believe that he can be one of those top five receivers. And, he's getting paid accordingly. Obviously, a lot of talk with Terry McLaurin with the Commanders right now. I probably expect him to, eventually get something done there, and it probably will surpass what Garrett has done too. But that's just the market that it is. And I don't have a problem with, some people had a problem with the numbers. I didn't, because like I say, one, I think Garrett can be a top five receiver. And I think two, when you look at it, this deal in a year or two, it's going to be, very, you look at it, say it's not that big of a deal. It's not that, a lot of money compared to what wide receiver money is going to be. It's not like it's Jamar Chase money, or I expect the money to keep going up and up, for wide receivers. And, when you look at Garrett, once the money starts kicking in, then I think you'll look at it and say, oh, okay, this is a good deal at the time. That's why it's been stressing the Jets get this done sooner rather than later, because it's only going to get more expensive the longer that you wait. And they finally got the deal done, and I think I think Garrett, I think he's poised to have a really good season. I think he's going to have like 120 catches and close to about 1,400 yards this upcoming year. I think he's going to be, especially considering the Jets wide receiver situation opposite side of him.
Well, to me, like, if you're not going to pay Garrett Wilson, like, who do you pay?
Who you
Like, this
pay?
guy's, he's proven to be quarterback proof. I mean, you're around him. I've been around him a bunch. Like, he's a good dude, genuinely cares about trying to win and being a good teammate, and does all the right things. Like, if you're not going to pay him, who are you going to pay? And like, okay, maybe he's never going to be Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but this is a guy that for his first 3 years is on his way to breaking Jet records at that position. You keep him. And a couple of years from now, at $32.5 million, I think is going to be incredibly team friendly when we now have receivers making over $40 million in this league.
And also, like, I mean, you look at, his quarterback situations that he's been in. It hasn't been the best, honestly. And I think he's done a terrific job considering the circumstances there where, he's played with Zach Wilson. He's played with Mike White. I'm trying to think of all the quarterbacks that he played with, like, early on. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers. But, yeah, I mean, he's played with, he's called pass for Trevor Siemian. So, like, he has played in some really, less than ideal quarterback situations, and yet he still put up numbers. So just imagine, with a guy that he has chemistry with going back to college, what those numbers will look like. And I expect a really big year from him. And uh, yeah, I think it's been a lot of narratives talk about he didn't deserve the money, but I think like I say again, they're paying him for future production, and I think Garrett is going to be one of those. When you look at his numbers, especially this upcoming year, you're going to look at it and say, well, this guy is a very underrated receiver, and possibly on the cusp of being a superstar, which I think he can be.
How about Sauce Gardner, right? First 2 years, first team All Pro. Last year, down year for his standards. I think we've gotten out of control with how we discuss Sauce. Like all of a
Yes.
sudden, like at age 24, he's like forgotten how to be an elite football player. Like it drives me crazy. But your thoughts on Sauce and now what the expectations are for him with Glenn and this regime now coming in?
I mean, it was only natural he was going to have a bit of a down year at some point. I mean, he came in guns a blazing with first 2 years All Pro, first 2 years Pro Bowl, one of the best corners in football. I still think he's that. And you don't necessarily have to be the greatest tackler in the world at the corner position, but obviously he understands this is something he needs to get better at. That's why he's added on weight there. That's why he's improved his conditioning and does some things in the offseason to help him possibly get better in that area. But Sosa's going to be who he is, which is a great cover guy there, a little bit handsy there. I'm sure they understand that. He understands that too. There'd be something that, you have Aaron Glenn, who was a former corner and a very good one at that, work on him with that. And also Steve Wiltz, who's somebody that's been around the way, has coached a lot of good corners there in the league there. So I'm curious to see what, the difference is between this style of play compared to the previous style of Jets defense there. I expect it to be a little bit more aggressive, especially with Wiltz they're liking to blitz a little bit more. Dude, he does a little bit more zone, but also you got Aaron Glenn, who's more of a man type of defensive coach too. So I imagine the defensive schemes will be in the middle there. But I expect the bounce back year from Sauce there. I think it's the narrative that last year was just a terrible year, but it wasn't. It was just not his standard that we've been used to the last couple of years.
I think the big thing with Sauce is Aaron Glenn is going to hold him accountable. He's going to challenge him
Mhm.
more. I think they're also going to put him in a spot where maybe he's shadowing the number
Yes,
one receiver more, and they're playing more press man coverage, which Sauce does at a very high level. Like I'm very bullish on Sauce. Like this fan base blindly defends like Zach Wilson, and a lot of people are blindly believing Justin Fields is going to turn into the second coming of like Tom Brady this year. Like and it's like, great, like be positive, all that. But like Sauce is the guy that we should be backing. He's been a first team All Pro twice. He's
correct.
24 years old. He wants to be here. He's clearly taken to heart the year he had a season ago with how much weight and strength and all that he's added. Like, for the life of me, the Jet fans, they didn't want to pay Sauce. Like every other team in the league would have done what the Jets just did. So it's crazy talk.
He's a top
Where,
five corner in the league.
right.
Like, why wouldn't you pay somebody like that, especially from that draft class where you took Sauce, you hit on two high draft picks. Like, how rare is that? Like, especially you had three of them in the first round, and Germaine. Like, we'll see what his career ends up as, but I think that draft was just their golden class, and then you definitely want to keep those players in the building. But Sauce is still a top five corner in the league. Yeah, he had a bit of a down year, but that's to be expected at some point. I mean, you're not going to just put up you know, 10 great, excellent, elite seasons like that in a year. That's just not realistic. I mean, obviously he's going to have a bit of a down year, and it was a down year for everybody just about last year, especially considering the expectations of this team and just the coaching change and everything like that. But Sauce will be fine. Like he's still one of the best corners of football. You don't get rid of that that easily,
And if
especially at
you're
that age when he's almost 25 years old.
right, and if you're a Jet fan and you believe in Aaron Glenn, don't you have to have at the bare minimum faith that Aaron Glenn, who played corner at an unbelievably high level and was a great defensive coordinator, that if he thinks it's worth paying Sauce and investing in him, that maybe we should take his word for it when it comes to our corner, right? Like to me, it's like
Correct.
crazy talk.
And also, like, no disrespect to Aaron, tremendous corner on his own right, but Sauce has certain characteristics that Aaron Glenn didn't have on the football field. He's tall, he's rangy there. I mean, so yeah, if Aaron Glenn and like Steve Wilkes can unlock some of those key areas that it helps Sauce get better. Yeah, I mean he's going to be that much of a better player, and I think we're going to be talking about him being up there with Pat Surtain as one of the best corners in football, which I think he already is. But I think he's already going to, when you talk about the best corners in football, I think, with this regime there, I think they're going to unlock some areas that, the previous regime didn't, including, like you said, travel a little bit more, something that I think a lot of people have been clamoring for years.
My thing is, all right, Sauce, you're the highest paid corner. Aaron Rodgers is coming back week one. Go take down DK Metcalf. Don't let him beat you. First game with Rodgers and Metcalf trying to get on the same page. We saw how difficult at times that was for Rodgers and Garrett last year. New linemen, new coaching staff. Like, go take away his best weapon. Like, that's the assignment week one. Shut down Metcalf, and that's what we're paying you
And
to
I
do.
thought he
Like,
did a good job. They played the Seahawks last year. He did a good job with that too, for the most part. So yeah, I mean, it's not a task he's unfamiliar with.
hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Antoine Staley, Jets beat reporter, Jets columnist for the New York Daily News, is with us here. Jason Picker is the first to enter the raffle today by gifting a channel membership. Reminder, if you're the first person to gift 10 tickets, we'll double it for 20. Here's what you have a chance to win at the end of the stream: a signed, framed, 11 by 14 authenticated Sauce Gardner photo. It will look great in your Jet Man Cave, so gift away for your chance to win. If you don't win that, coming up most likely tomorrow, if not the Saturday show, will be our coaches raffle. Signed Bill Parcells helmet, signed Aaron Glenn helmet, and a signed Rex Ryan photo. So any daily raffle entry, you're automatically entered in the weekly raffle as well. Super chat from Shooter, who says, I need that photo, Jake. Any updates on your schedule for week one? Also love JJ's comments on Sauce and Garrett's deals. Shooter, no update just yet. If I'm not at week one, I will be doing a watch party for week one. So stay tuned about that. And then as far as the JJ comments, I love how supportive Germaine Johnson has been of his teammates. You brought up JJ earlier. I believe in him. I think he's going to be an awesome player again. Might not be instantly, but I think he's
Correct.
made of the right stuff, that he's going to get back to the player we started to see him be at the end of that 2023 season. Your thoughts on Germaine and the expectations for him now going into the season coming off the Achilles?
Well, they wouldn't have picked up his fifth year option if they didn't think he would be come back to return to the player that he once was. I mean, he had that momentum. It seemed like he was starting to turn that corner, and obviously that Achilles injury in week two just like really killed momentum. And I think they really hurt the Jets defense from a standpoint where, you had Will McDonald who, flashed last year, but you really didn't have any other pass rushing threat like on a consistent basis other than him and Quentin, really. And Quentin gets doubled and triple team, constantly. So to have Jermaine back there, I think it's going to be huge there. I don't know if he'll come back to form immediately because it's so hard off of Achilles injury. Like it's going to take some time too, even as young as he is. But I'm willing to bet maybe by mid-season, the bye week, and a little bit past that, I think he's, you're going to see the player that he once resembled early on in his career, especially that second year, where, like I said, I feel like he had 7.5 sacks, but I feel like he could have had so much more that particular year. So yeah, I think he's a upwards to a double digit guy. And then obviously you got Will McDonald, who had a really good year and has been he broke out in camp, and I expect a big year from him too as well.
When you look at just what the scheme will now do for the defensive linemen, I mean, we're going to see Quinton play a lot more. Like the rotations with Salah, I don't think you're going to see that nearly as much with Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're just gonna put the best players out there, and yeah, it'll be rotation. But I feel like Albrecht and Salah, like it was a, it was kind of like at times like a hockey line where like you have four guys in there, and in certain situations like you'll switch maybe three of them out or two of them out. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be as much as with this regime. The one thing I am concerned about is a little bit the rush defense too as well. I don't know if they did enough, in the interior outside of helping Quentin solidify that area. We'll have to wait and see. But, it's a defense that has a lot of talent. You got 8 starters returning on there. And I think, secondary wise, I think they're in a much better shape too. Obviously, you get Michael Carter back healthy, dude. Obviously, you got Sauce. I like the addition of Thomas in the third round. I think he could be, eventually, your second best corner opposite Sauce. Obviously, you side Brandon Stevens too. They like him a lot. Obviously he struggled with the Ravens, but I do like the secondary compared to what it was a year ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Austrian Jet fan has come through for the people. He has gifted 10 channel memberships. We're doubling it. Austrian Jet fan is in the Sauce Gardner frame photo daily raffle for 20 total entries.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Let's go. Shout out to the Austrian Jet fan. We're an international show, Antwan. We got people all over the universe that tune in to hear about a football team that has failed to make the postseason since 2010. That is how great this fan base remains.
Yeah, I mean, very loyal. I mean, you got fans everywhere. Like you got fans of you too. Like people like they wouldn't tune in if just to hear about the Jets if they didn't like you. So obviously they love you, love listening to you and your comments too as well.
I appreciate that. We're talking, of course, with Antoine Staley. If you guys have a question for him, anything Jet related, NFL related, write it in. We'll pull it up on the screen. When you look at the roster, right, what are some of the biggest positional battles that you're going to be closely following in camp this summer?
Obviously, you have to start at wide receiver. Obviously, the wide receiver position. You have Josh Reynolds there, Alan Lazar too as well, Tyler Johnson, Xavier Gibson. Like, yeah, who's going to be the second guy? Obviously, Garrett Wilson too as well. So, yeah, I definitely look at that too as well, and yeah, I definitely wonder who that's going to be. I think a guy that I really did like, in Washington camp was Arian Smith too as well, the rookie from Georgia. There's a lot of talk about his drops there. He led the FBS in drops a year ago with 10. But he really didn't drop any balls there in OTAs. Obviously, it wasn't in pass, but we'll have to see how that translate there once training camp begins. But yeah, you could definitely see that speed there, and I think they're going to try to find different ways to get him out there on the field. So yeah, definitely wide receiver. The kicking situation is definitely going to be interesting too, as well.
The thicker kicker, Antwan. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I didn't think, in OCAs the Jets kicker was necessarily on this roster. I wasn't necessarily impressed with Carlson too as well, although he ended up, being the kicker for the Jets late last year. So yeah, that'd be something. I think those are two interesting situations, especially considering the Jets may struggle at times to score points. Like, I'm not necessarily worried about their defense. I'm more worried about their offense and the passing game too as well. And can Justin Fields consistently hit his targets on a consistent basis. But yeah, you're definitely going to need a team like the Jets that could struggle the ball. Like, you definitely got to make sure you have the kicking game up to par for sure.
As far as the receiver room goes, what do you think about Malachi Corley? Is he on this roster week one?
Well, he has to get healthy. Well, first of all, we got to see if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, then I think he's definitely going to be behind the eight ball. So it's not hard to tell. If I had to pick, I would probably say no at this point. But if he is healthy, then I think the Jets feel comfortable trying to keep him because he is a young talent there. They took him in the third round, although it's a different regime. They did trade up to get him. But he needs to show him something. I know Tanner Estrella talked about that in OTAs a little bit. But basically, Corley's behind the eight ball. He hasn't been able to get on the field, and other people have surpassed him on the depth chart. And that's something he's going to have to, quickly fix come training camp or risk, getting cut or possibly traded.
Your thoughts as we go through some of the key players on offense. Mason Taylor remains unsigned. Your thoughts on how that plays out, and then ultimately, assuming he does sign at some point and gets into camp, what are your expectations for him in year one?
Yeah, there's a lot of second round picks that are still remain unsigned. A lot of them want that guaranteed money, like some of the other guys have gotten there. And, I think Mason will be there at some point. I don't necessarily know if it'll be day one, but, I wouldn't worry about it too much if he misses the first 3 or 4 practices because you still have a month left. And, I think he's young enough where he'll still be able to pick up the offense pretty well. But my expectation is I think he could be, the second or third, you know, leading target man for the Jets this upcoming year. Obviously, you got Garrett. I think he's gonna have a really big year too. But outside of that, it's a lot of question marks there with Josh Reynolds, obviously with Alan Lazar, and I think you kind of saw Justin Fields and also Mason Taylor, even though it was without pass and OTAs and many mandatory minicamp, started to get that chemistry a little bit there, and could be. I think Mason, kind of what he was at LSU, was a big chain mover. Especially on third down situations. So I definitely think, when Garrett might be doubled or triple team, you look to a guy like Mason Taylor, although still young, but can get you those 5, to 10 yards and get you the first down. And, that's my expectation for him this upcoming year. He may not necessarily have like the biggest numbers, but I think he's going to have a really good impact and could have about 50 catches, probably about what Tyler Conklin did a year ago, which I think that you would be satisfied with that as a Jets fan.
All right, we've gone way too long without getting your breakdown on Justin Fields. What are your expectations for Fields in this opportunity he has here? The unquestioned starter, no competition. They made that clear immediately. He's the guy. Your expectations for Fields with the Jets?
I mean, I think he is who he is. I mean, I think he's a guy that's been uneven as a passer, but also has that athleticism to make some big time plays too. I think last year with the Steelers, I think really helped him. obviously had this highest completion percentage of his career. Although it wasn't a small body of work too, but Jets are really gonna unleash him. Like they're definitely gonna. They want him to play to be that quarterback of the future. There, they giving him this opportunity at least for a year to prove that he can be the guy. And I think it's gonna be some growing pains at times. There, it's gonna be times where you maybe scratch your head at maybe something that he did, but also he brings such athleticism to the position too, where he can roll out and extend plays for his receiver, but also you know get you 10 yards there on the ground too as well, something that obviously they hadn't had in a little while. But I think as long as he can limit the turnovers, then I think the Jets will be in position to win just about every game that they are in this upcoming year. But that's what is just key, just being consistent as a passer. If he can do that, and I think getting the 63, 65 range as far as a passer. Like he's never going to be a 70 guy, I don't think. But if he can get in that consistent range there, then I think the Jets will be in good shape there and be in every single game, including the opener against the Steelers.
How much of Fields' success hinges on Tanner Engstrand as the offensive coordinator?
I think a lot of that hinges on that. Also, the offensive line, which I feel like they've vastly improved too as well. Obviously, you drafted Fashanu from Penn State a year ago. Now you draft Amon Membu from Missouri. You have those bookend tackles that you're gonna be. You hope to be your tackles for the next 10 years there, and then having a guy like Estran, where you see what he did with you see what the Lions did with Jared Goff too. Although I know that was Ben Johnson, but Estran was the passing game coordinator and helped out planning and help out golf in any kind of way too. And I think you're gonna have. I think he's gonna be key to revitalizing Justin Fields too, where not just making him an athletic quarterback, but also making him a factor in the passing game too, and just getting the ball out of his hands. And one thing I did like, we saw in camp a little bit, and we detail. I think all of us kind of detail is kind of like the GoPro there, where it's also helping him become a better passer, where you're kind of in the eyes of Justin Fields, but maybe he makes a bold decision and he can go back and say, you could have thrown it there, you could have thrown it. Like, you just get that feedback there when you go watch film. But I think they're going to unleash him in different ways that obviously they weren't able to do with Jared Goff, who can move a little bit. But now you got a guy that it feels that can rush for over 1,000 yards. I don't know, expect him to with the Jets, but you have that element in your back pocket where I feel like it's going to put a lot of pressure on defenses and kind of have them rolling on eggshells and roller skates a little bit.
A Jake Asman fan says, always good to see Jake Asman on my screen. Well, I'll tell you what, you might be a little biased to Jake Asman fan, but we appreciate you tuning in. Hit the like button if you're watching. If you have a question for Antwan, write it in. Super chats. We'll cut the line. We got the Azy Awards continuing today, so stay tuned for that. It was a thrilling day on the show yesterday with Genergy winning the Need More Calls Award and the biggest pot stirrer, J Quest, winning that award, biggest pot stirrer / prankster. Today on the show, we're going to vote on the Azy for wildest hair. Robert C., Beastbreaker, Gary, and Scott. So voting will be live in just a little bit. Antwan, when you look at the expectations for the Jets, what to you would be a successful year one for Aaron Glenn?
I mean, obviously everybody wants to get to the playoffs, but I think, if you can finish anywhere from 7 to 8 wins potentially, they finished 8-9, like, and they pretty much changed a big part of the roster. And, you go from 5 to 8 wins in your first year, especially a team that has struggled as much as the Jets. I think people would take that, especially considering how tough the schedule is, at least early on, at least on paper too. I mean, Pittsburgh, I feel like that could go either way. It's a bit of a toss up there. You got Buffalo week 2, and then you got to go down to Florida and play Tampa and Miami in week 3 and 4. So, and they also have Denver on the schedule too. They play 4 playoff teams in the first 6 weeks. So, yeah, I definitely think having it's definitely going to be tough. So, but I definitely think they can get the job done. But I think anywhere from 7 to 9 wins would be a successful year for the Jets.
All right. If they are going to make the playoffs, what's the biggest thing that has to happen?
Justin Fields definitely needs to play the best football of his career. I definitely think that's what's going to have to happen there, and they're going to have to find a viable second option opposite Garrett Wilson too, as well, because it's going to be times where you had Devontae Adams on the other side last year, and now you just have Garrett there. But yeah, I think the offensive line needs to protect them. I think, have that second option too. And also Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall has to, finally live up to those expectations that we all been, expected, like thinking of him when he entered the league there. I think people kind of called him Christian McCaffrey light. And if he can be that guy where he can get you over 1,000 yards rushing, but also be a factor in the passing game, because I think he's going to be key too as well, then they got a shot. They really do have a shot. They have talent on this roster. It's just a matter of how fast it comes together. It may not come together immediately. I think they're gonna win more games in the second half of the season than they do the first. But I think it's possible. I think they do have enough talent where they can make things interesting in the AFC East. Buffalo's still number one, but that second spot I think is open for debate too. You got the Patriots that are improved there. The Dolphins. Dolphins kind of seem to me like a team, sort of like the Jets, kind of like, a little bit of disarray too. You got a GM on the hot seat. You got a coach on the hot seat a little bit too as well. Heck, you even got a quarterback in Tua. If they don't make the playoffs and he gets hurt again, he may not be there in 26 either. So it's definitely a lot of pressure on the Dolphins this upcoming year to try to get things done. But I think the Jets, it's kind of like the 22 season where I think it's no expectations from the outside and they can really surprise some people this upcoming year.
Why do the Miami Dolphins go into this year, which feels, as you're talking about there, Antwan, very much make or break for the regime in place there, with Zach Wilson as their backup quarterback?
That's a good question. One I can't answer, but that's a good question for me. Like I've been puzzled about their quarterback situation, the backup quarterback opposite to it, because I feel like the guy is very prone to being hurt, so you need a solidified backup to come in there and they come in to win maybe 3 or 4 games should Tua be out, and that's just been the norm, sadly. So now they're banking on Zach Wilson. Hopefully that he can, turn his career around. Maybe McDaniel could get something out of him. But again, like he is who he is. Like I've heard a lot of people from Denver talk about how he improved his game last year and that year when he was with Sean Payton. I guess we're going to find out. But I would not be secure about my backup quarterback situation as Zach Wilson has to play, which honestly, I probably expect him to play against the Jets at some point, probably in December. But I guess we'll have to wait and see and find out.
I mean, my big thing, I don't know if the Jets are this great team, right? I'm around 6 wins with them, but I think Miami's going to be bad. Like I think it's going to fall apart for them this year. I don't trust Tua to stay healthy, and the Zach Wilson thing just reeks of disaster waiting to happen. I think the Jets finish in front of the Dolphins.
I can see that. That's why I say I feel like they're in a similar place as the Jets a year ago, where like you have all these expectations, like you have to win, like everybody knows it, and then they're one injury away from all of it just crashing down and falling apart. So yeah, I definitely think I think they're going to split. I think Miami will probably win the Monday night game in September, and I think the I think the Jets will win the late meeting there. But yeah, I think the Jets could finish with 7 wins, and I wouldn't be surprised if Miami would finish with 5 or 6 wins. Like that's how big of questions they have, like on both sides of the ball.
All right, couple of quick hitters at the end. First, Aaron Glenn press conference next week. Which beat reporter is going to get the opening question?
It might be me, but then again, I know they're having it like the opening day when players report, they're having it virtually. So if I had to guess, it'd probably be I'll go with Kaz. I'll go with Kaz on that one.
Kaz with the first question to Glenn. All right. Now, how about the first in-person day then? What is your prediction for what the Jets will be serving in the cafeteria for the media?
I'll probably say salmon and maybe some kind of chicken as well. So if I had to bet, that'd probably be my guess. Some kind of fish and also chicken and too. Like they kind of like to have like a little like some seafood, but also have another option too for people that don't necessarily eat seafood.
You a salmon guy, Antwan?
Yeah, I love salmon. I just had it last night.
Well, I know you like shrimp cocktail because I was with you in Indy when you almost passed out from the St. Elmo's cocktail sauce.
Yeah, I know y'all never let me forget that, but I almost died that night. But yeah, I did a little bit less cocktail sauce this year, so I will be doing that moving forward.
I love that for you, Antwan. You're the man. I'll see you at camp this summer. Appreciate you always hopping on.
Yeah, no problem, Jake. Take it easy.
Antoine Staley, read his work in the Daily News. You can follow him on X as well. Really good stuff from Antwan, who's already now on his 4th year, or about to enter his 4th year on the Jets beat. If you're just tuning in, we're giving away this 11x14 frame. That's right. It's not just a photo. I'm sending you the actual frame as well. Framed Sauce Gardner photo. Comes with the certificate of authentication as we celebrate Sauce getting a long-term deal with the Jets. Jets. Before we get to some of your calls and respond to your super chats, we're brought to you today by my friends at Circa.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
I will be there at the end of August 21st and 22nd. We're broadcasting our show from Circa's Ultimate Contest Weekend. It's going to be great. If you're interested in entering either of those two Circa betting contests, then come out to Vegas. I mean, you need a reason to get to Vegas. Here's the reason. Go and sign up for the contest. Enjoy all the perks you get when you sign up for the contest at Circa, the great restaurants they have there, an open bar at Stadium Swim, which is the largest outdoor sports book. You can meet me. I'll hang out with you. We'll gamble together. It'll be great. So it's going to be an awesome, awesome weekend. And look, Circa's just the best place to stay. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about Circa for years already on the show. Largest indoor and outdoor sports book. It is the preeminent destination if you're a sports fan. I mean, I call it sports heaven, and you can see in the photos on the screen exactly why. Shout out to Circa, and I'm looking forward to being out there in Vegas at Circa at the end of August. Comments, questions, super chats, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is open. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to vote in this morning's Azy Award category. Today we're voting on Wildest Hair, Robert C., Beastbreaker, Gary, and Scott. Charles Gorman was an honorable mention. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the 4 nominees. Wildest Hair, your vote matters, and your votes, they count right now.
It's time for the Azy Awards. Gotta get through Jets off season. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? These Asmaniac callers are legends. It's up to the chat. It's your time to vote. You gotta decide who's better. Asmaniacs strive. The Jake Asman Show. That's why we gotta have these Azy Awards.
Bang, here we go. Voting officially underway. Vote. All right, to your calls we go. V8 the Great leads us off today. What's up, V8?
What's up, Jake? How you doing today?
What's up, V8?
Not much. I'm just trying to think. Who is your dark horse to step up as the wide receiver 2 this year going into the season?
I mean, I think it's Josh Reynolds by default. I really can't come up with anyone else.
You don't, because I want to put my trust in Alizar, but you already know how that goes. But
I've seen what it looks like without Rodgers throwing to him.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it again.
Yeah. But I'm not going to hold you. I do think that Breece Hall is going to step up in the receiving game as much as he has done. But other than that, I think I'm going to have to agree with you. But if Smith can somehow make it work, even better. But I just wanted to tap in with you, Jay, let you know I'm still tapping in. I've been watching every day since, so,
I love it.
hope you're doing good.
V8, good luck in the raffle, man. You earned a call. Or you earned a raffle ticket with that call. Appreciate V8's long-time support. Look, I mean, if you allow me to include like Mason Taylor and Breece Hall in that quote-unquote wide receiver 2 combo, I'd put them higher than probably Reynolds, because I do think Breece will get a lot of targets out of the backfield. And I think maybe by the second half, Mason Taylor emerges as like the number 2 pass catcher. At least we hope. But Reynolds is probably the safest bet. He's played in the offense before. That's going to help him right away. Clearly the Jets believe in him, right? Like Aaron Glenn, everyone thought, oh, he's going to bring in a bunch of guys from the Lions with him. He brought Lions coaches with him. He did not bring a bunch of Lions players with him, though, right? Remember Rex Ryan brought in a bunch of old Ravens when he took the Jet job? You know, we saw Todd Bowles bring in some Cardinals with him, including a former Jet, Antonio Cromartie, by the way. Saleh brought in a bunch of his guys from the Niners. Glenn really hasn't done that. Glenn's brought in coaches, right? Engstrom being the most notable. Steve Hayden, obviously being the O-line coach. Those are like the top 2 Lions-related coaches that Glenn brought with him. But has been a ton of players. Reynolds was one of the players, though. That's why I think he's going to have a big role in this team, especially early on. We hope by the end of the season, it's like, oh, it's Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor. Like, let's go. Mason Taylor's Sam Laporta in the Jets offense. That's best case scenario. I'm not even going to say Bowers because Bowers, first off, he's like a glorified receiver. He's not even really a tight end. And he had a historic year that I don't think we'll see any rookie tight end put up for years. That's how good it was. If we leave this year being like Mason Taylor had a Sam Laporta-like year, I'll be giddy. I will be giddy. Super chats cut the line. Phone line's open. A lot of open lines right now. So if you want to call in, there's never been a better time. Dylan Terraman with a super chat. Will anything top yesterday's moment with Charles Gorman? If you missed the second stream yesterday, it was maybe the best show of the year. I mean, there were so many funny moments that happened, including Charles Gorman being down in the dumps about his job search, upset that people in the Asmaniac community believe that he doesn't actually want to work. And Charles being Charles, when he called in yesterday, he said this.
People think I don't want to work, which is not true. I just had a bit of a nap not too long ago, too, so that didn't help.
Love it, dude.
You're talking about how people don't.
You can't say that people think you don't want a job and then say that you came off a real good nap. It's a hard 2 sentences to put together, Charles. It is. You got Jake off the camera.
How do you not see the irony of that, Charles? This is why Charles is the best of the best. You can't make it up. I took a nap yesterday after he's talking about how no one thinks he wants a job. God. Unbelievable. Charles will get a job, I believe. I believe in Gorman. I believe in achievement, and I think at some point, Charles Gorman will get a job. He has to, right? The saga has to end at some point. All right, here we go. Your calls. Gusbuster Hotline. We continue. Clifton time. Predict inside or outside. Go. Kyle Clifton versus the mute button. We should have a new category where people vote not just on inside or outside, but will Kyle Clifton be able to figure out if he's muted or not within 3 seconds of the call starting?
Well, it's very difficult, I'll tell you, because sometimes I feel like it comes off automatically when you come out of the intro. And then when I touch it, it doesn't come off all the time. Maybe because it's sticky out. It's very odd. Did you see about an hour before you went live that Florio had an article about the inside the Sauce Gardner deal?
I have not read it. No, I didn't even see it.
So it looks like he took less guaranteed money than Stingley, to the tune of like 3.35 million. And, obviously we know we got another year of control over him as compared to Stingley. He only went up total money $100,000 from what Stingley got however long ago, a couple months, right? It looks like, from where I'm sitting, this is very, very team friendly. And for him and Garrett to do these team friendly deals in unison, saying that they want to be here, that tells me that they are bought in to the culture that Glenn is trying to set. It's not going to be any more of, talking about accountability. I don't really hear Glenn talking about accountability per se. I think he's setting the standard when he walks in the door, and then he's just going to hold people to it. And if you're consistent in your tone with that, it's gonna be much easier. But I would really encourage people to kind of check out what. And I'm not a huge Florio guy, but what he has here is, better cash flow for Stingley in the early years, 6 million more in 2026, 7.3 million more in 2027. This is a deal that Sauce didn't really care about, He cared about the total money, apparently, right? He cared about the appearances, but he wants to be here. And this is the context of the deal. People worry about the number. The cap goes up every year, as you say. It's important to realize that this guy is a premier player at his position, and we're getting him at a relative bargain. Just because you don't understand that $500,000 of Austrian shillings is only $42,000 American, doesn't mean that we're not getting a deal, right? Like that's the comparison I make. It's like people don't realize the value that we're getting when we're returning these players.
I did not see the story, but I'm not that surprised, right? Like, I think Sauce genuinely wanted to be here. I think he loves being a Jet. I think he loves being in New York. I think Glenn and him have hit it off from what I've heard from people, and that seems obvious now. So I'm excited. I mean, I think Sauce is going to be the guy we saw his first 2 years this year. I really do.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially like there's challenges that come along with it too, right? Playing a lot more man, traveling, like embracing a new system that's much more aggressive, and turning it around in the biggest city in the world. I mean, that's the reason that Rodgers wanted to be here nominally. That's what he said, right? And for some of these guys who haven't had winning, like Garrett and Sauce, that's probably going to be a big part of why they're here. Thanks for your time, Jake.
Kyle, excellent call as always. But before you go, what are your thoughts on JQuest saying that he had a dream last night that you invited him to the beach?
Well, let me tell you something. JQuest is a very affable fellow. Like next time I meet him at one of your events, maybe we can set up a beach date, and we can throw the beach ball around, put our toes in the water, and I'm more than glad to host JQuest for a day at the beach.
This sounds very romantic. The two of you on the beach just sounds incredible.
Well, let me tell you something. Mrs. Clifton's home from work today, and I think I'm on her last nerve. So I'm probably looking for any companionship I can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kyle Clifton calling us from inside. And JQuest just wrote in, Mr. Clifton, that he's down. So the Clifton JQuest beach play date is happening, folks. Love it. Hit the like button, shall we? Speaking of Asmaniac meetups, we announced another one yesterday. We gave first come, first served to Patreon and Discord users. They ate up about half the spots. We got 60 spots. 30 have been reserved already. So if you want to join us for our training camp meetup at Chef Kevin's restaurant, the Cloverleaf Tavern in Caldwell, New Jersey, you better RSVP, baby. It's a free event. There's going to be free food, free drinks. We're going to give away some signed Jets merch. We'll have some other giveaways. It's after the Jets green and white scrimmage on Saturday, August 2nd. So the scrimmage, I think, is around 8:30. It never starts on time. Trust me. So by the time we get done with the scrimmage and you drive to the Cloverleaf Tavern, it's about 30 minutes from the Jet facility, it'll be 2 o'clock. Prime time for the Asmaniac meetup at Chef Kevin's place. We got a private room for the Asmaniac community. Chef Kevin himself is preparing a food and beverage menu that is Jake Asman Show themed. So it is going to be awesome. Can't wait. Shout out to Kev. We've been talking about doing this for years. We're finally making it happen. So lock in your spot. If you haven't, there's a link to a Partyful app. That's the software I'm using to lock in spots. It's free to do. It takes a second. You can do it from the phone. You can do it from your laptop or desktop. Come hang. Let's go. We might be able to open up more spots, but right now we only got 60 and half of them are filled already. And I announced this 12 hours ago, 18 hours ago. So best community in sports. Shout out to everyone who makes it possible. Alan says the Sauce deal has a renegotiation in year 1 or year 2 written all over it. Well, not until it starts to kick in, Alan. That's the point of paying Sauce early. He's going to play the first couple years on the extension on his current deal. He's going to play the next 2 years on the rookie deal, and then at least 1, if not 2, on the extension. Otherwise, it's bad business for the Jets. They're not going to rip up his deal. That's the commitment they made by paying him early. So, and you know what? They want to give him a raise because he's been so great. Good problem to have. Doesn't mean they're going to rip up his contract, but if they want to say, hey, we're going to give you an extra $3 or $4 million a year, because let's say the corner market explodes in a few years and Sauce would be critically underpaid. I think the Jets would be willing to do that if Sauce holds up his end of the bargain of being one of the best corners in the league. Bill M says, free? Are all the 1 seeds going? It's a good point. Now, we got to address something that was said in the chat earlier. Beastbreaker wrote in, I'm going on a date later this morning. Well, in Beastbreaker's time zone in the attic, it is 9:51 a.m. So let's find out more about who this, to quote Charles Gorman, lovely lady is as we head live right now to the attic for the full report.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Can I explain something to all you the clowns on here? It's a headquarters. This is global headquarters. Get this correct. Can you all get it correct one time instead of being ridiculously, foolish? Damn.
Global studio headquarters. I'm just updating your byline.
Everything here you see is globalized. Why? Okay. Because I go for the talent. I go for top talent. I go for top-notch billing. How do you think I get around? Simple. Work with your distributors. Work with your peers. Work with other people. That's what's supposed to be like.
Hey,
Not
Beast.
rocket. It's simple, easy shit to do. It's as easy as taking a dump in the morning at 4 a.m.
That's not easy.
Not easy. Well. Then everybody's different. Everybody has their own way of life. It's everybody has their point of view. It's the way of looking at things. And George Carlin did say the right thing. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own way in life.
How do you feel about it being called the Attic of Champions, Beast?
It's not an attic. It's a studio headquarters, but it's globalized. Because why is it globalized? Everything that comes from across the sea, from Europe, from Japan, Mexico, even down south of the border, everything you see here is real deal, 100%. Just learn from the best. If you want to learn from the best, you got to be with the best. How do you think I got this? Simple. Work for it. Work hard. Put your money where your mouth is and put it to the test.
Gator writes in, Beast, stop with the stupid company titles. You're calling into a jet show. Just put Jason and AKA Beastbreaker. Stop being so weird and get on the scale today. Put batteries in it.
Hey, Gator, how about take a head first into the tree? Or, in the words of my good friend Jake the Snake Roberts, as he once said, come rattle this tree. Come on. Come rattle this tree. See if old Damien don't come out. Trust me.
Dylan writes in, confused how Beast doesn't run away with the best hair award. Beast, are you surprised that you're not winning this best wildest haircut?
Well, we got a bunch of chicken shit on here, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. We got plenty of time. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? That's so important. Jump around naked?
Well, no, you don't have to jump around naked. The category is called wildest hair. So you should show off your hair. Let me remind you, it's called wildest hair.
Hey, I look damn good. You know why I work very hard?
So show off your hair. That's what I'm trying to do.
Take your spam call and shove that up your directed ass. I'm way too powerful, I'm way too sexy, and I'm way too smart. And
you're
I
sexy,
do play.
huh?
Hey,
show us your hair, Beast. Give the people what they want. There it is. Look at that.
Can't touch that. I'd like to see you all try, but there's too much yella on here, and I'm doing it with yella. You've heard that? You've heard that old term yella? Yeah.
Are you confined to the attic?
No. This is a studio headquarters, globalized for the best, and there's more to come. Let me just say it one more time. Get ready, because the menus that I'm going to be putting for Jet Skill this year, it's coming your way. And don't think I won't have a great menu this year. This menu is going to be stacked to the max. We're going to go ribs. We're going to go burgers. We're going to go hot dogs. We're going to go bratwurst. We're going to throw Polish in there. We're going to throw pizza on once in a while. We're also going to make those big ass.
Right. Hey, Beast, what's the deal with this date you have later?
I'm going on. I'm going to have a little fun. It's called I need a little woo. Time to go down south of the border.
Who's the lady?
It's like doing the old song going, I was riding around in old Mexico.
Who's the lady?
I got lost in the...
Beast, who is the lady?
You'll see in a few minutes. I already have her on my signal department, my friend.
You mean you have her number on your cell phone?
Yeah, Signal. That's an APP app. You're working? Good. If you're making money? Great. If you have your own house? Good. That just shows 3 out of 3. You passed my test. And when you pass my test, that means you're good to go. That's right. If you don't like it, put it in the bank. And if you can't do it, then take your money elsewhere.
So what time is the date?
I'm leaving around 11. Punching out 11 a.m.
Where are you going?
Going all the way to the suburbs. She has a house out in the suburbs.
Really?
I know where it's at. It's in
Okay.
the old suburbs. How do you think I know? Simple. Follow the trend. Take the bus. Boom. There you go. There's 2 buses. Boom, boom, boom. You already know the rest, player. I don't like to hate, but I do like to associate. That's what I like to do. And don't hate the player. Hate the game.
Well, Beast, if this is your last ever call because you're about to get catfished, maybe murdered, it's been a fun run.
Let's throw 3 tenors up.
What a run. That might be the last time we see Beast. Man. Mike Perez checks in with a $10 super chat. Jake, yesterday's second show will go down in history. I truly believe Charles only looks for jobs when he calls into the show because you remind him. And the Charles call was iconic. How about the call with Bobby and the cat and not having air conditioning? Gary at the end arguing with the chat and Charleston Jetsrube. God, the Charles's call was just an all-timer. Chad says Beast is going to be shocked when 6 Ring shows up. It's true. It's absolutely true. Also, Beast, who has a date in the morning? Good point by Pat McAfee's tank top here. 10 in the morning, you got a date? Michael says that was an epic show. It really was. It really was. All right. There is currently no one on hold right now, so people could call in, make your point. You'll get a raffle ticket. And just a reminder for those tuning in, giving away this at the end of the show. It's a signed and framed Sauce Gardner photo. As we continue our giveaways right through training camp starting. Appreciate everyone who has supported. Cost us $5 to enter the raffle, and there's not a ton of entries right now. So you got a great chance to win if you just enter for one. Let's see. It's been a couple days, or maybe even a week or so. I can't keep track since we did an Ask Jake Anything segment. So here we go.
It's time for Ask Jake Anything. Ask about New York sports. Can't afford a therapist? Maybe Jake can help. We can even discuss if the moon landing was real. Seriously, ask Jake anything.
Any question you'll want, for the most part. Write it in. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Tom A says, cheap date, 10 a.m., smart move by Beast. Dylan Terrelman says, Beast, I'm concerned about your date. I'll be honest. PBM says, great, I'm going to have to help Beast with a catfish while I'm high on painkillers post-surgery. Things could be getting wild later. Uno Jet says, Jake, put me in. Uno, you are in for 2 in our raffle. Appreciate you. David says, ask Jake anything. How much did you make at the casino over the weekend? I didn't go to a casino, so 0. Derek says, Jake, who do you think has more fantasy football value on the Jets, Hall or Garrett? I think Garrett. Brees has dealt with some injury stuff, so I'm going to bet on Garrett. He's produced all 3 years with horrible situations. I think he's going into a pretty good spot this summer where he's the unquestioned clear guy, and he already has built-in chemistry with the quarterback. I think he's the guy. I think Brees is going to have a good year too. I do, but I'm betting on Garrett over Brees. Barbarossa says, Jake, if Beast isn't meeting that woman with fake cans, who is he meeting? Could be a dude. Could be a dude. Man. Barbarossa says, that's 3 dudes with Glocks, so this day is a court date, and BB won't be allowed near schools. Uh-oh. David says, casino equals golf. I didn't play golf. Casino, there was no casino. If there was a casino, I would have went. There was no casino. Last time I went to a casino was back in June, and it was in the Poconos. And I played blackjack with George Santos, who's going to prison any day now. Just wild. Weeb the Dweeb writes in, Beast hair looks like a squirrel's tail. That's an interesting comp. Beast says, F you to all the haters. Fair. What do we got here? Mike says, catfish coming to an attic near you. Could be. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline is none other than a fella who happens to be big. The big fella.
Well, he's home sitting in a chair, 'cause his back hurts. On the road, he's sitting in a chair, in an upgraded hotel room. He calls the show his ass is in a chair. His wife thinks he's weird. He got a beard. He loves the Jets, the Super Chats. He's a big fella. He's all alone in a room on a chair. That's a big fella.
You're muted, big fella. You're still on mute.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Good. Who has it better than Beast, man? Like, literally. He complains all the time about, like, how everything's all miserable. But the guy lives in a global headquarters. He's going on a date. He lives pretty much in a room which is like a playland for, you know, his childhood. I mean, and he doesn't worry about bills, it doesn't seem so. So who has it better than him, man? You know, for real.
You make a fair point. Who does have it better than Garrett? That better than Beast.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say everybody should get out to Chef Kevin's and your event at the Cloverleaf Tavern. I've been there. I brought my son. It's an amazing place. I'm going to be there. My son's going to be there. It's gonna be awesome, and it's going to be great to hang out with everybody again. Chef Kevin's an amazing chef. You're an amazing host, and it's going to be epic. So everybody should.
Well said.
That's what
I can't wait. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't much Jet talk. You guys covered it pretty much for the past couple of days, you know, with Garrett and Sauce signing. So,
all right. So let's talk about something that just happened. Your thoughts on Beastbreaker's potential date today?
Hey, man, it's, I wish him luck. I wish him luck. I don't think he's going to get catfished. I think for all of his faults, I don't think that I don't think he's one to get catfished. That's just what I think. We had a good time watching wrestling last night, though. We watched AEW together over the Discord, like talking back and forth. It was fun, bro. It was a good time, really good time. He knows a lot of shit, so it's good stuff.
I like it. Do you think Beast is going to take this woman back to his global studio headquarters?
If she's lucky, yeah. I mean, if she would be one lucky lady. She'd be like Curse of Solitude with Superman or something like that. She could be his Lois Lane. He is the American dream, man. He really is. When you think about it, honestly, I was thinking about it. I was like, he complains all the time. He's like, oh, this sucks, that sucks. Who has it better than him? For real. Think about it.
It's true.
You know, what does he worry? What does he have to worry about, really? You know, he says he's on unemployment, right? He doesn't give a shit. He's like, okay, I'm retired, but retired from what? We still don't know. So
Yeah, Beast has never once said what he actually did. He just lists all these titles, but we don't know what companies he's ever worked for.
Yeah, we still don't know. And you know what else I noticed about him? He's very agile for a man his size, man.
Great athlete.
He's very agile. Like when he did that crossover, like he was doing the crossover during the playoffs, and then him jumping on the bed, bro. I mean, he's a special athlete. Let's just say that, because I mean, he reminds me of like a dancing bear. You know, it's just he's very, very agile. So, yeah, and I'm very proud of Bobby. Bobby getting the job I'm very proud of Bobby.
Will he get air conditioning? That's the next thing.
That's true, man. He can't go. Listen, if his first day is on Saturday or even tomorrow, he can't go smelling like potatoes, man. He's got to make a good first impression. Load up on Mando or whatever, you know, and it's making a first impression is super important. It's super important, a good first impression. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
What?
A lot of great points were made today by the big fella. You
Thanks,
always do.
Oh, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the kind words, man.
Big fella.
Go Jets, baby.
Yes.
You're the best. You're the best.
The great big fella who I saw 2 weeks ago, or whenever that was. The man, the myth, the legend. I got some Ask Jake Anything comments that I want to hit on. Plus, Weave the Dweeb is now in the raffle for one. Thank you, Weave. He also wrote in. Beast Hair looks, I already read that one. Thank you. Uno Jet says, Jake, put me in again. I already have a Sauce jersey, but I'd love a signature on it. Let's go, Jets. So this is the photo. There's a framed photo of Sauce here that we're giving away. It's 11 by 14, so it's bigger than the usual 8 by 10s we've done outside the Sack Exchange one, which is 16 by 20. Shout out to Anthony Ligariato. He won the Sack Exchange photo the other day. Chad checks in with a super chat. Thoughts on Shamar Stewart? Will he play one NFL snap this season? Imagine if this was happening to the Jets, it'd be dominating the national news. You are right. If this was a Jet thing, it would be a way bigger story. I think because training camp hasn't started yet, it's not being covered as much as it will be next week if he's not signed still. Kind of crazy, though. I mean, the Bengals should just get it done. Their defense sucked last year. They drafted this kid to help that. They need him. They don't have Trey Hendrickson signed either. So what's their defense now without their best player from a year ago and their first-round pick is supposed to help their defense? Like, that's the thing. AG's Burner says, who do you think is corner 2 and wide receiver 2 for game 1? Corner 2, I think it's still going to be Stevens unless you count Michael Carter as the nickel, who is an underrated, really good player, and him being hurt last year is a big reason why the defense fell off. Certainly part of it. People talk about Germaine and CJ getting hurt. That played a part. Michael Carter was never healthy last year. His play was not good when he was out there, and he missed a lot of time. Him being healthy is huge for the defense. I think Stevens will get the first crack at corner 2, though. They paid him too much money. Tom A says, do I think Beast will score with his lovely lady? I hope so. Unless he's going to get murdered. Dan says, Jake, after seeing Beastbreaker's girlfriend, what are your thoughts? I think she looks smart. To quote Charles Gorman, she looked like a lovely lady. Jake Quest says, what sporting event would you want to be a color commentator on? World Series, Super Bowl, NHL Finals, NBA Finals. Super Bowl would be fun. Would I be good at it? I mean, I think I could fake it for a game. Maybe. I'd go Super Bowl. Most eyeballs on you. Now, you could argue, hey, you know, you do NHL Stanley Cup, you do the NBA, you get more than one game, but Super Bowl would be awesome. Mike Dems is in our signed Sauce Gardner photo raffle at the end of this program for one. Mike, I'm hoping you win one of these raffles soon, man. You're always in it to win it, which I appreciate. Usually it's one or two an episode that Mike's watching live, and I don't think he's won a prize yet, so I'm hoping he wins one soon. Ladies and gentlemen, more calls right now on the Gusbuster hotline is laundry. Nah, I got a wife for that. Only women can do laundry, Gary. You can't do your own laundry?
I could. I choose not to.
Thank you for the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I don't think women should vote at all. I think that's just being silly. I think in your heart of hearts, you think that's silly too. It's just sad.
No, in my heart of hearts, I think that women have every right to vote, Gary.
Who should I vote for tomorrow in the election?
I think that's utterly ridiculous. It took men 5,000 years to create this society. It took women 2 generations to destroy it. I don't know what the problem is, but I know that it was caused by feminism. Feminism is a work for evil that needs to be eradicated. I think it's the cause of most of the problems in the world, most of them.
Really?
If you ask my wife, she would agree with you too. I wouldn't marry someone.
Your wife thinks that she shouldn't be allowed to vote?
She thinks women should not be allowed to vote, correct, yes.
Make me some meat and that we're good.
Yeah, but why are you more qualified to vote than your wife?
Because men are more logical. Men live a harder life. Every single company in the world that advertises towards women. Do you know why? It's easy to manipulate women. That's why they advertise towards women. I'm just giving you facts. You may not like those facts, but those are all facts. Women make the purchases, women carry the debt, and they're easier to manipulate.
Gary, you want to know the reasons why females shop more? They take care of our families.
I'm a man. I have principles. In my principle, I don't think women should vote. Criminals should vote. I don't think unemployed men should vote. I don't think people who live off the government should vote. I don't think low IQ people should vote. I don't think most people should vote. I think the voting class should be like a very small percentage of the people.
So basically, the people that are the elitists would be the people that you want to vote, not the actual culture of people.
A taxpayer, someone who's not in prison.
In essence, you're saying that a woman has no value if she can't vote, because that means she can't vote for her own personal interests.
No,
if she's not in the family.
I think that the power to vote is the power to divide. So now you can divide families, which is exactly what they want. You can call it crazy if you want. If we eliminated premarital sex tomorrow, if no one ever had premarital sex again, most of the world's problems would disappear overnight.
Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Oh, I meant to put Gary on now. Hey, Gary.
That is a hell of an intro. That is a hell of an intro. That I don't even know how to respond to that. That's good work, Gator. Wow. I still like the pointing one better though. But that's a hell of an intro. What were your thoughts on that intro?
Is that an intro or is that just a recap?
I guess it's just a recap. I guess that was that was good. That was and I agree with everything I said in that. I think Gator clipped
of course you do.
Clipped me well in that. Am I still in last place in the hair contest?
Let's check the voting. I've not updated the standings in a little bit. Let's see. Scott leading with 30%, Gary at 20%. So you are in last. Second place is Beast at 25%, Robert C at 24%.
It's tight, but
very tight.
Yeah. I looked at most of his awards, and I didn't think I was going to win the ones I was nominated for, except for the one I did win, except for the one with
I think you needed to show the cornrows off more in recent calls to have a better shot.
I don't think the hair is that crazy. Like I just don't think I have the craziest hair. So I don't think, I don't think I'm going to win, As far as Beast's date, can we put some kind of tracking system on him? Does he have like one of those little AirPod things that you can put on him?
I'm not sure.
I don't think this is. Do you think he's actually going on a date?
I think he thinks he's going on a date.
Yeah. Okay. You think
I think it's very.
I'm serious. You think he's get murdered or robbed or something? Like, this doesn't seem good to me.
It's possible.
Where did he meet this lady?
You think we'll ever get an actual answer from Beast on anything?
Obviously not. That was a stupid question. You're right. Here, when people get honeypotted and people get catfished, here's the question I think people should ask themselves. If I was that girl with all the choices that she has, would I pick me? If the answer is no, you're getting catfished. I mean, I don't want to be harsh, but like, if you wouldn't pick you, if you think there's another guy out there who has you beat in some way, why would she pick you? If you can't come up with an answer for that, you're getting catfished. It's an unfortunate thing, and it's probably a guy who's gonna. I don't know. This doesn't sound well. Like you said, who has a date at 10 o'clock in the morning? I mean, I've never heard of that.
There are many questions with this date that, I mean, we might get answers to on the second show, or we might never hear from Beast again. I think that's certainly on the table.
I know. I think that is on the table, and I don't think you're actually taking it seriously that we may never speak to Beast again.
Well, I mean, what am I supposed to do, Gary? I mean, he thinks it's real.
He's a grown man, kind of.
He's 41 years old.
Got it.
He's retired already. He says. I can't get to the global studio headquarters and tell him not to go.
No, you can't tell him not to. I agree. He's 41 years old. You're not his dad. He's got you by 12 years or whatever, right? So, but mentally, is that an adult? I get he's 41, so he's an adult. I guess is mentally is he an adult?
Well, that's an interesting premise because when it comes to what makes someone an adult, would an adult do this?
I just had chicken. Chicken.
Can he put a shirt on? Can there be a rule that he has to wear a shirt?
Would an adult do that? Or maybe this?
Who cares?
Or this?
Everybody, how are you all doing tonight? Right now, I'm in a great mood because I finally crushed that son of a bitch, Bobby Beasley. Now,
or this?
Would you silence? Or should I do one of these?
Can he wear a shirt? Can that be a new world? That is disturbing. That is.
Hey, Beast, you're up.
It's
one of the most vile things I've ever seen.
It's a brand new song, Power of Dog.
That looks like an adult to me.
I guess so. Yeah, no, yeah, that's fair. That's an adult. He says he's a grandfather, so I don't know. That's your grandfather. He. From what I understand, he does have a daughter, right? And the daughter's like 20. So I guess it's possible he has a grandkid.
But what does he say that?
From what he said on Bobby's
he said
show,
a lot of things.
He said he had sex.
He just wrote he has balls.
He said he had sex once, and from that one time he had sex, he had a kid, and then I guess his kid has a kid. That's what he says. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever. I don't really have anything to say except I don't think this is going to end well for Beast.
I see.
And then yesterday, calling me a misogynist because the first bikini model ever was a prostitute doesn't even make any sense. Like,
that's not why I was calling you. I was calling you a misogynist because you said that women shouldn't wear bikinis on the beach.
That still wouldn't make me a misogynist.
I think it's a pretty misogynistic take.
Hate women. The word misogynist means you hate women.
So what's the word I should have used then?
So I don't think women should dress naked, and I don't think they should sexualize themselves. That means
I don't think wearing a bikini means you're dressing naked.
No, you're covering up.
You're covered up.
You're
not naked. Naked means you're not wearing any clothing.
That is
naked.
So why
you're
couldn't
Mr. Definition
to wear
you're
one?
Mr. Definition, right? So what's the definition of naked? No clothing.
Well, you're dressing naked, almost naked, nearly naked, right? If you actually dress naked, you would be arrested. I would imagine in most places.
So why can a guy be topless then, and a woman can't?
You can't figure out the reason why.
No,
feminism's got you that dumb. You can't figure out why a man cannot wear. Beast should wear a shirt because he's got double D's. He should wear a shirt.
That's what I'm saying. Beast could be topless. What's the issue?
No, I don't think he should be. No, I don't think he should be. I think he should wear a shirt at all times. That was disturbing, and that's another thing. That like you guys find it funny. That's the state of young men in this country. It's not good. Like, look at him. It's disturbing.
I look at him every day.
It's not just him. Like, if something were to happen, like, could he stand up and protect the country?
Why do we need him to do that?
All men should be battle ready at all times.
Are you battle ready? You can't even drive a car.
I can't drive. Okay, so yeah, I am battle ready. Why would I have to drive a car to be battle ready? So you're saying everyone military age who isn't a battle drives a car? It doesn't even make any sense.
Why does everyone need to be, quote, battle ready?
Because you don't know when you're going to get attacked. Like, they don't give you a heads up. I'm going to attack you on Tuesday, July 17th at
Who's attacking it? That's why we have the greatest military in the world.
So being prepared is now a bad thing. Being prepared for battle is a bad thing. Okay, go ahead. Like, this is the same conversation I
didn't say it's a bad thing, but you're like, Beast is not ready for battle. I don't need him to be ready for battle.
Okay, I disagree. This is like the same conversation I had with Nate and them. It's like, I generally, in general, think it's a good idea to carry a gun in most situations. I don't see a downside to it. I don't see a downside in being battle ready at all times. Like, where's the negative in that?
So you want Beastbreaker to have a gun? You think that's smart?
I don't know that he should have a gun. I said in most cases.
That's the point. That's the point. Not everyone needs to be battle ready and have a gun.
No, I disagree. I see no upside in not being
So why should
battle
Beast
ready.
have a gun?
Well, he should get himself mentally fit first. To protect his family and loved ones in case someone breaks into his house. That's why he should
protect his guinea pig?
That's what it comes to. You know, if someone came after my dog, it's not going to be good. I promise you that. I promise you that. If someone came after the cannoli, it ain't going to go well for him. I don't see a downside in being ready for battle. I don't. Why is it bad?
Gary, I don't know how you keep one-upping it, man, but
I think that men should be. I think young men should be battle ready. That's one-upping it. Nothing I said was crazy.
Thank you for the time.
He's pointing. Gary Box, I'm pointing at you. Gary Box, I point at you. Gary Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Gary Box, point at you. I point.
What a call, huh? What a call. A couple memberships here. Shout out to Julian. He is in the raffle for 5 by gifting 5 channel memberships.
Bim boom me, bim boom boom ba, bim boom ba, bim boom ba, bim boom me, bim boom ba.
Okay, the memberships went to listener Freak Turd, Australian Jets fan, Dan Maldoloni, Dub74, Mr. Downtown. Congrats to everyone who just got a membership. We're not done. Mike D's Nuts checks in. He is gifted a channel membership, so he is now in the Sauce signed photo raffle for 1. Mike Duramo says, Gary, 12 men walked on the moon. Prove me wrong. Zoink Nation says, I'd vote for Gary as my president any friggin' day. What a country. Kyle Clifton checks in with a $2 super chat. He says, you can be frustrated that your wife is rowing in a different direction politically. I get that. But only in Gary world does someone think that they can control that. That said, great montage. Shout out to Gator for the edit there. John with a super chat. Will you have our friendship bracelets ready at the Jets-Giants watch party? You said on X that you were getting them fitted. This is Jack. They will be ready for you, Jack. Can't wait. See you there. I did see you bought a ticket too, so that's actually funny that you went through with it. Anthony in the house. He's in the raffle now for 5 with this super chat. He says, Jake received the sack exchange photo and the Don Maynard jersey. Love both. I think it was a Don Maynard helmet, Anthony, but I see your point, and I'm happy that it arrived safely. I sent it out on Tuesday, so that was pretty quick. Awesome. Thanks for your support, Anthony. I saw you also bought a ticket for the Jets-Giants watch party. You bought 2 tickets. Are you bringing Roseanne potentially? Jet fans, let's go. Our first watch party of the year, the Jets and the Giants. We're headed back to T Squared Social August 16th. It is a 7 p.m. kickoff. 6:30, the party will start. Tickets are just $18. It includes 1 Friday beer, 1 green tea shot, and a raffle ticket. Will do a Jets merch and Jets ticket raffle at halftime of the game. When you get a ticket, you get 5 tickets in our weekly raffle whenever you do it. So lock in your spot. The more people that buy tickets, the more revenue we have to make the raffle at halftime as epic as possible. August 16th. Let's go, baby. Jets, Giants, Jets backups versus Jackson Dart. What's better than that? Let's go. Get your ticket. Click the link in the description. $18 right now. The cheapest it will be. So lock in your spot. We also have this that I'm proud to announce will be given away. Framed, signed jersey, authenticated by Brees Hall, plus some other raffle items. 2 tickets to Jets Panthers with the Asmaniacs in section 129. Signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Signed Aaron Glenn jersey. Let's go. Uno Jet says, no voting and now no bikinis. Gary is crazy. Well, Gary is Gary. Gator says, great Shane Gillis set last night. Did you hear the Jets Rodgers thing? I actually didn't hear that. I've only seen clips of Shane's monologue. I didn't watch the whole thing. I feel like I've seen most of the jokes. I'd missed that. I thought Shane was hilarious, though. It was so funny how uncomfortable the room was. The WNBA joke he told was that was ridiculously funny. Anthony says, Don Maynard helmet. There you go. The throwback helmet. Love it, Anthony. Congrats again on winning that. Ryan checks in with 5 gifted memberships. Good luck, Ryan. You're in the Asmaniac raffle now for 5.
Pew, pew, pew. Abracadoodle.
All right, if you hear your name called, you thank Ryan for gifting you a membership. Phenom. How about Phenom calling the show yesterday, show number 1? The return of Phenom. Joe M., David Gerard, Aaron Quinanis, and David Dean, all receiving a channel membership. Shout out to you, Ryan. All right, more calls here. You know, it's funny. We're like 45 minutes in. There's no one on the line. I'm like, great, I can end the show after an hour today. And now there's like 15 people on hold. It's amazing how that works. Australian Jet fan is next. What's up, AJF?
Hey, Jake, how's it going? It's been a while.
It has been.
I've missed calling into the show every day a lot, actually. So I finally had some time to myself. I was going for a walk, and then I decided to pull the show up. And in Jake Asman show fashion, Gary's yapping about some bullshit again, which I thought was pretty funny. And I also saw the haircut poll, which inspired me to call in because I literally just got my haircut like less than an hour ago.
I think you look pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was very happy. I was very, very happy with the job. But yeah, I just thought the whole battle ready thing is like someone who's grown up in a country where we have like really strong gun control laws and stuff. I just feel kind of bad that, you know, like for once I actually feel kind of bad for Gary that he feels he needs to have a gun on him at all times, you know? Like I've always felt like really, really safe and stuff growing up. Not like I've always had to protect myself from everyone else because, you know, there's just like that mutual level of trust. So, you know, for once I actually kind of feel bad for Gary that he feels like he needs to have a gun or otherwise he's going to get attacked.
Look, I can't get inside the mind of Gary, AJF, but I appreciate you calling in, and the haircut looks great. So call back more, all right?
Go Jets.
Go Jets. I'm not getting this going down the Gary rabbit hole right now. I don't have it in me. I'm exhausted. I'm doing 7 hours of broadcasting today. We're back at 4. Boy Green's joining us, and then 7 to 10 Eastern tonight, ESPN Radio nationally. So I can't do the Gary rabbit hole this early in the day. I'm not going to make it to 10 tonight. I won't do it. How about this? Ryan McCarthy says, and I just joined the Patreon full year membership. I guess that officially makes me an Asmaniac. Get in the Discord, Ryan. You're in, baby. I just got the email that you joined. Boom. He signed up for the year. 10 raffle tickets for Ryan McCarthy in our raffle coming up for the sauce photo and the helmet raffle, or the coach's helmet raffle, I should say, and the Rex photo. I think I'm targeting tomorrow. I got Rich Samini's coming on my first show tomorrow. I'll probably do the Asmaniac raffle on the second show tomorrow or first show Saturday. I got to count up the amount of memberships and do some math, but that's the target. So we'll boost memberships on the second stream today or the first show tomorrow. So be ready for that. Let's see. Rat Diddy in the house. What's up, Rat? As a veteran, I'm putting Beast on the front lines with a gun. It will strike fear in the enemy. Gary, middle-aged white guy with cornrows. Yeah, not so much. Gary is a middle-aged white guy with cornrows. Would you like to respond to Rat?
That doesn't even. It's a middle-aged white guy who sits around and talks about me and spends money to talk about me. I'm in his head. Clearly, I'm in his head, right? And he never, Austrian Jet fan, at no point ever addressed what was wrong. What was the downside of having a gun on you? He never. He said, "I don't feel like." What's the downside of having a gun on you?
Well, should Beastbreaker?
He never presented that. What was that?
Should Beastbreaker have a gun?
Beastbreaker. If I don't know Beastbreaker personally. I don't know if this is an act. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on Beastbreaker. Most men who are in their right mind should have a gun on them at most times. I see no downside in it. I see no reason not to. And no one's ever presented me with one. Like Barbarossa goes, what's the downside of having a gun on you? I see only good possibilities for reasonable men. There's no downside. And no one's ever presented me with one, except that they don't like guns or they were told they shouldn't have a gun. That's all
How
they
about
got.
this? Instead of a gun, how about a magic wand?
Abracadoodle.
More calls right now. Jason in Jerusalem. We have a Nick Shine appearance coming too, so I'll save Nick for the end. What's up, Jason?
All right. Gary mentions that women shouldn't vote. Then he also says that he's not a misogynist. Hey, Gary, maybe their vote should count 3/5. What do you think about that? We have some history with that.
Ugh. God.
But
it's turning into the Gary show today. Here we go.
I mean, you want to talk about, guns everywhere. You're assuming that everybody's going to use their good judgment as to whether to use their gun or not. Everybody needs to be battle ready. Nobody can identify when a battle's actually taking place. That's your argument for white people shouldn't have the guns. You take the gun, leave the bikini. Well done, Barbarossa. That is a great, great line. Okay, you deserve a cannoli. Go treat yourself, buddy. Man, learn to cannoli.
Yeah, I'm
Jake,
glad the Jet signed Sauce and Garrett too, Jason.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. Did you see the Jim Abbott
No, I haven't seen
documentary?
It yet. I was told it's incredible. I have it bookmarked. I will watch it hopefully soon.
Okay, I can't find it in parts unknown. I'm about to take a long trip to the U.S., so I need to download some stuff. You got any good ideas for sports documentaries? What I should get? I actually just finished Bronx Zoo 90. I thought that was fantastic.
Is it on ESPN Plus?
It is, but I mean, I could buy it off of Google Play for $2, which it's not the money is issue, but I don't think I could view it on the plane. I think that's a streaming, and I can only view it while I'm connected to the internet.
I
can't find it on parts unknown.
Like,
you can?
I think you could download it so it's saved, and then you can just watch it.
All right, maybe I'll do that. What else do you have to offer that I don't know about?
I don't know.
In terms of good stuff.
Like just sports documentaries specifically?
Yeah, sports documentaries. Yeah.
What was the last good sports documentary I saw? I'm trying to think.
Did you see Bronx Zoo 90?
I haven't watched that yet. No, that was on Peacock, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Yep, I haven't seen that one.
I've seen most of the 30 for 30s.
Yeah, I don't know the last good sports doc I've watched. There's nothing that jumping off my head right now.
All right, maybe somebody in the comments. By the way, shout out. Maybe somebody put in the Discord. Maybe I'll go back on the Discord and put it on. But remember, we have the Eliminator pool of the Jake Asman fan club group for the Eliminator pool. So good luck to everybody, and remember to join your ESPN and sign up for this year.
It'll be in the Discord. Love it.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason in Jerusalem. Good call from Jason. AP is on the line. Who's AP? Hello, AP. Goodbye, AP. Daz is up next. Hello, Daz. Fantastic. Daz, thank you for the time. Ladies and gentlemen, these calls stink. We'll go back to Gary momentarily. Gary, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I think a lot of interest, Jake.
I got my Iron UG I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake. Hey, David.
I won't keep you on long. I just want to thank you. A couple weeks ago, I won a Jake Asman show flag, and I got it in the mail yesterday. And Jake, I would have been happy with a sticker shaped like a flag, but this is phenomenal. It's big. It's such quality, and I really appreciate it. And real quick, if I can be a date planner for the Beast,
Oh, God.
I think you could go to a grocery store or whatever, get a nice bouquet of flowers. Show up at the lovely lady's door, and imagine that first visual, and then if they gel. I mean, Beast has a charisma and a good personality. And, if things develop, maybe she has an attic, and the Beast being such a great, athlete, he's got to be terrific on the dance floor. So maybe he'll go on this date and they won't even be leaving the house.
You know what, David? I think you make some salient points. Maybe if this date is real, Beast can do exactly that.
I hope it's real, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Well, David, I'm glad the flag arrived safely. I look forward to you proudly displaying it. And thanks, as always, for your tremendous calls.
I am already displaying it in my living area, and I love it. And thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great David T.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
I don't think we're taking this serious.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
All right. More of your calls right now, unless I got a super chat I missed. But hold on. Boomtown says we have a tight race in the poll. An update on the Azy Awards for wildest hair. Let's see. Beastbreaker is leading now. Oh, no, he's tied with Scott, 28-28. Robert C. with 23%. Gary with 21%. This is a tight category. We've already had one overtime session in the Azzies, which is insane, but that's what happens around here. Could we get another one? Wow. Vote, vote, vote. Wildest hair. And by the way, this afternoon, best beard is the category. Papa Jet, Barbarossa, Coach Olbrich, and Jets Jesus are the nominees. Wow. Committee, once again, doing a great job. Boomtown and company. Unbelievable. Speaking of the committee, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Shine joins us before we get to our raffle. As Nick Shine and I speak, just know this is truly your last chance to get in to win this on the screen there. A signed 11x14 framed, authenticated Sauce Gardner photo, paying homage to Sauce signing long-term with the Jets. Hello, Nick.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
I was going to have a nomination for you for Mount Unemployment, but the boy got a job today. Little Nick got a job. He'll be working at a local new Wawa that got built. So we can't even nominate Little Nick to be on there.
Are they
junior Asmaniac / Shiner?
Are they
wait. He's my Shiner / Asmaniac.
Are they looking for anyone else? Could Charles Gorman piggyback at that Wawa?
Too far. It's too far. Nick lives like a half hour south.
Did you see the moment yesterday with Charles on the show that everyone was dying at, including me?
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it yet. I plan on doing that today, right after this.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's a snippet.
Highlight.
This might have been the hardest I have ever laughed doing any show I've ever done, radio or YouTube.
People think I don't want to work, which is not true. I just had a bit of a nap not too long ago, too, so that didn't help.
I love it, dude.
You're talking about how people don't.
You can't say that people think you don't want a job and then say that you came off a real good nap. It's a hard two sentences to put together, Charles. It is. You got Jake off the camera.
How do you not see the irony in that, Charles? This is why Charles is the best of the best.
Who wants a job to interrupt a good nap, Jake?
It's just like, and then how does he just sit there so stoic and not like realize what he just said is insane?
I love Dylan. Dylan's the best. And my favorite part of Dylan is he will try to analytically break down a Gorman moment as if it's like Jets tape. He will.
Yeah, as if there's some rationale to what happened there.
You and I are on the text together, so with Gators. So the imagery of him consuming Coca-Cola product after Coca-Cola product last night while eating chips, while just snacking the entire time. He's Charles. What else can we say? He's Charles.
He is Charles Gorman.
He's one of one, man. He's one. Dylan, it's the best. It's you try to like keep it on the rails, but it's so far off. God bless your efforts, man. Yeah. So I'm in. My buddy Mark Reese is in. Jay Graves is in. We're filling up the truck. We're trying to get tickets for the green and white since we'll be up there. So if anybody has tickets for the green and white, Jay Graves, the homegirl, myself, Mark Reese, we can use some tickets for that day.
I could use tickets too. I don't even have for myself. Yeah, I'm
right.
working on.
We can use tickets. There we go.
I think we'll be able to get though. I mean, people always just reserve these and then they don't end up using them. And then I gave away hundreds of training camp tickets last year. So I will say this: I'm going to put Jets Johnny on blast. Not Jets. I always screw up Jets Johnny and Johnny Boy. I'm going to put Johnny Boy on blast. So I'm getting requests from everyone on the Discord for that day because we're doing the thing at Chef Kevin's obviously after. And Johnny Boy goes, "Hey man, can you get me tickets?" I go, "Yeah, I'll do my best." Like I no one sent me anything yet, but hopefully I'll have some. He goes, "Yeah, I need 6." I go, "You're requesting 6? You think I could just pull 6 training camp tickets out of my ass like that?"
Well, he's gonna be up here for SummerSlam that weekend.
Yeah. I'm like,
so I think the whole family is coming up, which the SummerSlam tickets are ridiculous. So kudos to Johnny for dropping $10,000 on a wrestling event.
God bless him.
A question for you: that night, I know you don't venture out to Jersey very often, but that night, Kill Tony is at the Bergen Arts Center for a special show. Any interest?
I'm pretty sure I'm on the radio at 8 a.m. the next day on ESPN New York. Let me check. I am. Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. All right. Swing and a miss. Call me Jazz Chisholm in the home run derby. Swing and a miss.
Hey, he still hit 3 over the wall, man. It's pretty
good.
That's it.
That's it. Better than Mike Piazza. I found out yesterday from Gary that Mike Piazza went 3 straight years as a Dodger in the home run derby and hit 0 in all 3 attempts.
How about Robinson Cano the year after he won the home run derby? I think in Kansas City in 2012, the 0 for Cano with the Royals fans heckling him.
Pop up 15, right? Or whatever. He just kept popping them up. He couldn't connect.
Yeah. Tough. No, it's a great. I Killed Tony's awesome. I don't think I'm gonna be able to swing that.
Did Johnny Boy text you for 6 tickets for that yet? Too?
I'm sure. Yep.
All right.
He also wants 6 tickets to the T-Squared event, 6 tickets to the Jets Panthers game. He wants just 6 tickets appearing everywhere.
Nice. Even though it's a preseason game, you know there's a ritual, right? You know you're going up for a chance.
Oh, I'm hopping on the shoulders.
That's how we do it.
Let's be real. This party will be the best one of any of the watch parties because the game doesn't mean anything. There's no stress.
That's it. That's what was great last year. It was meeting everybody. You know, like I met Jay Graves that day. You know, a lot of other people, but it was just like chill. There was no stress. There was no like tension. There was no fist pounding on the table. A lot of weed smoking outside, but that's what you get with the day and time that we're in now. But it was stress free. It was nice. Good environment. I like that place. That was fun. And JJ falling while kicking the soccer ball still remains my favorite thing I've ever seen anyone do athletically.
It's criminal. There's no video of that. That's sad.
He went to kick the ball and he missed the soccer ball. And when his foot came back down, he caught the ball, tripped, rolled his ankle, and collapsed to the ground. It would be the video that you played the most if we had it.
Sad. But, we'll create new memories this year.
I haven't called in a bit, so I figured I'd call in, say what's up.
Are you doing a live show at 12:30 today?
I plan on it, but I'm back and forth with my son right now. I might have to take him to get a couple things before I go to work at 2:30. That was the plan, but there's texts going back and forth. His mom's working, she can't do it, so I might have to put the dad hat on and go help the boy out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your father of the year, Nick Shine. Either way, subscribe to Nick's channel because he's live all the time talking about the Jets and who knows what else.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Sunday night, I got Dylan coming on with me.
Traitor, Dylan. Dylan, you're a traitor. How dare you?
Dylan's a long-term friend, man. He's a long-time friend. I met Dylan the same night I met you, actually, at the Jets-Chargers game.
Really? I actually never even met Dylan in person. I can't wait to meet him this year.
Oh,
he's coming to Tampa.
Dylan, Dylan, you're a traitor. He's coming on Sunday night, 8 o'clock on the channel, and we're each going to present 3 storylines to keep an eye on throughout training camp, and then hopefully I can have him on later in training camp, and we can revisit it and see how it all went.
Hopefully it went well.
Let's hope, man.
That'd be nice.
Justin Fields, baby. Be average. Be efficient, right? Be third down efficient. You have the wow factor with your legs. Move the pocket. Get out and open. But if you can be average in the pocket, and then you add all those elements of his ability to maneuver, the RPO, the bootlegs, the waggles, and get him in good, easy read situations, there could be something there. Now, I know our wide receiver room doesn't wow a lot of people, but a scheme can make people better than they are. And a scheme, as we've seen with many other quarterbacks, when you get the right coaching and you get the right way of teaching that scheme, it could slow the game down for the quarterback and make it easier for him. And if all else fails, put 3 guys on one side of the field, send them deep, throw a swing past the Brees, and let him go one-on-one with a linebacker or a safety. And I love our chances with that time and time again.
Nick Shine, I'm sold. I believe. I'm at 6 wins now. Thank you.
They said it was impossible. No one said you were moving from 4. They said he's stuck on 4 wins. He's never getting off that mountain.
We're at 6, baby.
That's it.
I smell the 6 wins.
By the bye?
From your lips to God's ears.
God, it would be bedlam.
Are we counting preseason wins? Then maybe.
Maybe.
3-0.
And signing Sauce and Garrett is already 2.
Yes, 6 wins at the bye. We're counting
6
Sauce
wins
and
at
Garrett.
the bye. I'll talk to you later, buddy. Be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nick Shine. All right. It is almost that time. You're probably saying, time for what? Time for a raffle, people. We're giving away a signed Sauce Gardner item. We had a couple super chats come through the pipeline during that Nick call. Ralphie, you're in for 2. He says, this just in, TikTok Learning Center has a job opening for Chiefs, a 10-2 mapper. I have no idea what this was supposed to be, but either way, Ralphie, thank you for the super chat. Daz, who tried calling in with bad connection earlier, says, my signal's awful on the road. Apologies. I think that Beast is getting drugged by Pat's 12, losing his kidneys. Hopefully, he got enough ice and a big enough bathtub. Strong take there from Daz. All right, folks. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a short clip, and then after the clip, we're spinning the wheel for a chance to win this. A framed Sauce Gardner photo. Raffle time comes up right after this.
Listen, pig mouth, shut up. Keep your mouth shut. Number 1, when you call people old, this is what you get.
You don't scare me. You don't scare me. You don't scare me, David. You're always going to see this face. All right? I'm always going to be right in for Jake. No matter who's the Jet quarterback, I'm always going to be here. You know what I mean?
Listen, buddy.
Like trying to burn me out of the show.
You're
I'm
an
not
idiot.
going
You don't know
nowhere.
anything about football. You never did. Mr. Zero. Mr. Zero. There he is.
I'm Zero.
Mr. Zero. That's you. You have bad Wi-Fi. Take that hat off. Put that Jets hat on. Let's see it. Come on. Get that cap off. Go to work. Are you work? You know how to work?
Twice in the afternoon, baby. Who wants to ask me a question in the chat?
It's all I need. One punch. One punch. One punch. One punch. One knocker. One punch. I bet you
Give me some time by myself.
One punch.
Wow.
One punch.
Beastbreaker bringing.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck to everyone who entered the Asmaniac raffle today. Best listeners, make it all possible. I think we've done a giveaway on basically every show since like the last week in June. Unbelievable. And once we're done, with this raffle, we will close the poll voting for the Azzies, which we might need overtime for the second time in 2 days. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck to everyone. And if you win, please email me, AsmanJake@gmail.com, your name and your address so I know where to send the Sauce Gardner autographed item to. The Wheel of Champions is being spun right now. The winner is Ryan McCarthy. Congratulations, Ryan. Ryan entered the raffle by gifting memberships and got extra memberships by becoming a Patreon member for the year. Boom. Congrats, Ryan. Well-deserved. Huge Jet fan. And now he has a signed Sauce Gardner photo coming his way. Love that. All right. Let's go from raffle music now to what's happening in the Azzies. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to end. So I got to close voting in the Azy Awards. The category we're voting on right here, right now, is a category called Wildest Hair, or Worst Hair, however you want to word it. Ladies and gentlemen, voting is officially closed. And the winner of the Azzy is, I closed the poll and said it was tied. Let's see. Were there any votes at the buzzer? The winner is Beastbreaker. 666. 28-27. Beast wins Wildest Hair at the actual buzzer. 28-27. Third place, Robert C. with 23%. Gary in fourth at 20%. The Beast wins the award for Wildest Hair. He is an Azzy champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast is on the line.
One down, several to go. Now that title moves that into that singles role. Now instead of 4 single-time champion, 5. That does say it all.
Hey, Beast, show off your wildest hair in honor of the win.
Everything you can't touch, you can't see. Can't touch that. Can't touch that, Jack. That's all money right there. That's BANK, baby. That's number bank. Put it in the bank, and if you can't deal with it, you know where the door's at.
Well, Beast, have a great date. You could tell your lovely lady that you won an Azzy Award.
I ain't done yet. There's more to come. See, the fun's just gotten started. There's an old saying. This ain't the beginning of the end. This ain't even the beginning of the end. This is just the start.
What a show. God bless all of you who somehow watch. Best listeners, best audience, Boy Green this afternoon, Rich Samini tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for a training camp preview with Rich. Big things coming. We were at Marty Lyons golf event this week. Check out some of the interviews on the channel if you want more Jet content. Bunch of great former Jets, including Marty, came on. We're isolating each interview and posting them each day, but if you want the full thing, just go back to that show from Tuesday or from Monday morning, I should say. With that said, thank you to everyone who makes this show the greatest show of all time. But I'm biased. Anyway, love you all. Talk to you soon. JETS, 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 Jets. Buy your ticket to the Jets Giants watch party or RSVP to our training camp meetup because spots for that are limited. Go Jets, everybody.
People think I don't want to work, which is not true. I just had a bit of a nap not too long ago, too, so that didn't help.
I love it, dude.
You're talking about how people don't.
You can't say that people think you don't want a job and then say that you came off a real good nap. It's a hard 2 sentences to put together, Charles. It is. You got Jake off the camera.
How do you not see the irony of that, Charles? This is why Charles is the best of the best.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't? You can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.